Hi, we're going to do a video today on the guard and why we have our guard out. I met with two great guys the other day, Nick Faruqi and Paul Ingram. Paul's of Rapid Fighting Arts and Nick is of Ballistic Fighting Method. And Nick asked a great question about Wing Chun, and he asked about, does Wing Chun just stand and let energy come in? What I started adopting, saying is less of is, well, this is what Wing Chun does. From my little 5'7" perspective, what I would do in a certain circumstance is the distance is going to judge my reaction time. If Jim and I are at at a distance where he can't touch me, we're in a bar, he's calling my mom, 7 names from Sunday, and he's got to come to me in order to initiate that attack. I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to initiate this movement, because if I do, I'm going to be a step behind the movement. So Jim pisses me off, I get in a fight, we can react to coming in. I'm already at a reaction where I'm off play to a degree. So in my perception of Wing Chun, I'm holding my ground and letting somebody close the distance from me, based on proximity. If my longest weapon's my kick and I can't get to him, I'm not touching him. However, we're in a bar and I feel something escalating, and my distance is a lot closer, and Jim's calling me every name in the book, and I know a fight's going to happen, I can't get out of it. I'm initiating that contact right away. I'm not going to wait. So for Wing Chun, proximity is absolutely going to be power on that. Jim and I were just doing a couple drills where we were literally hauling off on each other. And oh. I put a YouTube video up on what we were doing, and we were seeing about our reaction time of whether or not we could take hard coming energy. But we got Ian filming, and there's no way in hell that we're going to take hard coming energy from him, because he'll kill us both. Just to let you know on that, because Ian's like 9 feet tall. Maybe one of the other videos. So what Jim and I were doing first was with a straight punch. So I'm going to step in like a boxer with Jim, and I'm going to slow coming in. And Jim and I were looking, how do we deal sidestepping or holding our ground? So I'm going to come in, Jim, don't step, hold your ground, and then he's going to use energy to redirect my attack. I'm coming in straight aside with a straight punch. Okay, I'm going to do it again. If I'm coming right in, and he could wind up doing that, but there's always going to be a follow-up to this. If I come in and bam, that's the problem Wing Chun's going to have, and why we don't wind up holding our ground, so to speak. So I'm going to come in again, I'm going to do a 1-2, and you don't move the first time. 1, 2, we're looking at follow-ups that's going to happen. Hopefully, based off the first connection, that's going to do a job, that's going to change my game. Well, we're going to look at happens if Jim meets force on force, and you're going to have to adapt for what you feel comfortable with. So I'm going to step in slow and punch, and now you change your game and play how you would react. He's changing the angle on this. Sidestepping, bracing, changing the angle. Okay? I'm going to start coming a little harder. And even if he misses, this is supposedly supposed to do the work in Wing Chun. And we have our follow-ups. You have a follow-up 1, 2, boom. Here, all his follow-ups are coming from being rooted. But what if Jim comes in with changing the angle and forwarding energy on this? Personally, I feel a little bit smothered. And continue there. Bam, boom, good. Again, come a little bit more aggressively. I'm going to try and haul off a second attack on this too, see if I can do that. So I'm going to go for a 1-2 on that. He's not there for me to do it. And his balance and his structure is a little bit better, and I feel smothered at this. We started looking at the push aspect of it too, and I found out that if my hands are back here and Jim comes in and pushes, I can't maintain my structure fast enough. So we were talking about the guard and why we have the guard out here. Yes, the Mansa Usa guard is going to be on this aspect, but in a context it's going to be, man, I don't want to fight today, I want to fight today. If I'm squared up, which Wing Chun does, or even drop back, I'm going to brace myself a little bit. So I got a nice little brace, I'm going to shift, and I'm going to have my hands in this position. Jim's going to come in and attack. Okay, yeah, there's structure. I lost it already. My spinal alignment's bad. Okay, Jim's gonna come in again. Well, I can redirect, right? Now, Jim's gonna beat, I want you to smother the heck out of me. No, I have to really fight to get that. But if I change that out a little bit and Jim comes in, go, my back leg takes all that. Come in again, go. That's the structure. Again, go. Less work for me to do as far as I'm concerned. So the structure goes on there a lot better on that. We're tired, by the way. Come in one more time, bam. That's what we want. Our very first movement is going to be attack up there. Minimize less foot movement on that. But when my hands are back on here, you come back. Now I'm so behind the movement, I honestly, you know, as a grappler, I can't handle it at that point. Now I'm 10 seconds behind the movement on that. So what we're looking at is, how does Wing Chun initiate off of a hard coming energy? We're the same height, same size. It's hard for me to deal with hard incoming aggressive force. When he comes in around here, slowly coming in, by the time I make that catch up, I can't get my energy out. I've got to have something out as a barrier. He comes out, I can fire, one of these two up, and that tells the signal why we have this out. When he initially makes contact, this is sending a signal to the rest of my body to react. So even if I move back a little bit, or step to the side a little bit and brace, it's giving my body more time to react in that. Back here, hands up here, I don't want to fight, boom, it's not going to happen. All of a sudden, I can't get this out, it compromises my structure. So the reason we're in guard as much as we are here doesn't make a difference. Coming out is a feeler. It's an asking hand, answering hand. Jim comes in one more time. This is going to be a buffer to send the rest of my rooting energy back down to the ground. Even coming back when he starts, you got up your nose on that one or your eye? I got his nose on that one. Finger went up the nose, I got his nose here. So going up, for me initiating that, Jim comes in, I have so much better of a response time when my hands are out. So we were just looking at the guard. It was a great question from Nick and Paul, and they're absolutely right. It's like, unless we're in that proximity, there's no way that we're going to initiate a movement, because you're going to be behind the movement. And if our structure is sound, I think the biggest problem with Wing Chun is, why do we have our structure? Why is it there? You know, why are we, well, I can take any incoming energy at all. I stand flat, Jim comes in, I'm simply going to do nothing. You have to be able to learn how to meet that force, brace it, redirect it. And that simply is slowly coming in, meeting it, and bracing it. And Wing Chun sloppy, but keeping your structure. Now, if I don't have this, I'm back here, I won't have the time for my structure to adapt based on where the proximity of my arms are. So we were monkeying around with this, playing with it. We take some hits today. And we were finding out where we were and beating the hell out of each other. But we wanted to do a little bit of a video on our proximity and when Wing Chun engages and when it doesn't. Do you have anything to add? Nothing at all? None.
Just that it doesn't matter if it's a push or a punch. It doesn't change that. If it starts out like this and you throw a punch, it's no different than if you throw a push. You're still, you know, you're going to get a heavy beat.
And we're hesitating a little bit. We have no gear, no helmets on. But the same thing, the obvious, we both found the obvious answer is, Jin comes in, we want to punch her up the back. But going full force, it's kind of, it is a little intimidating, not trying to, you know, knock out your good friend where he comes in and you go, bam, you're going to pull it a little bit. You know, both of us are going to wind up eating that punch on it. So that's that, and yeah. If you have any questions and you want some good classes, Paul or Nick, or for Wing Chun in the suburbs, me out in the city, Syed and Ryan over at Eternal Spring Martial Arts, and we'll see you in the next video.